Good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hopefully, you're all enjoying your weekend. Hopefully, you're all having a good day, having a good night right now. What is going on? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. And I got my co-host. He's a co-host. He's a guest. You all already know him. It's the Ace Avenue. It's Mr. Ace himself. Ace, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm doing good. Couple days before Christmas, and it seems like us as Yankee fans, we're getting our gifts a little bit early. So I'm excited to talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Facts, man. But it's funny. A few days ago, right? I had Howie Carpin on the show. And we were talking about if there was going to be any other moves, and if there are going to be moves, it needs to be done by this weekend, especially with Christmas coming up. It's probably going to be a little bit on the quiet side. And here we are. We're getting answers. So Paul Goldschmidt. I want to get your reaction to that. He signed a 1-year deal worth $12.5 million. I mean, just a quick reaction from me. A stopgap, and it was the right price, so this is going to this is going into the 2025 season. I know I'm jumping ahead, but going into 2025, they're going to really explore the first base market. And I know we've talked about Vlad Guerrero Jr. So I don't mind the signing. At first I wasn't for it, but now sign me up. It makes perfect sense. And especially with the first base market being especially with the free agents, some of these guys come with QOs. And, we know the Yankees didn't want to, we know how it is with the Yankees and the QO guys. They don't like to give up draft picks or IFA money. So, but let me get your reaction, Ace.
Before we get started into that, rest in peace to Ricky Henderson.
Yes.
The one of the GOATs. Ricky Henderson played for a bunch of teams. One of them was the New York Yankees as well. True legend in the game. His stolen base record will probably never be broken. I really find that hard to believe. So, great career, Hall of Famer. Rest in peace to him, and thoughts and prayers to his family. But as far as, because that news had actually broke after I had got off live, so I didn't get a chance to even really talk about that. But as far as this move, it's what you and I have talked about a couple times. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, you were leaning a little more towards Goldschmidt. I think I was leaning a little more towards Santana, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Either way, we were both kind of on the same page. Stopgap first baseman is what we were looking at, because we know that next year, as the Yankees, you want to keep yourself open to the possibility of either bringing in a Vlad Guerrero Jr. or moving Bellinger to first base and playing Kyle Tucker in the outfield. So what this move does is it solidifies that. The first base market, they said it stalled, but it heated up really, really quickly. Like Passing just reported, over the last 24 hours, Christian Walker to Houston, Paul Goldschmidt to the Yankees, Josh Naylor just got traded, Carlos Santana to Cleveland. So it actually heated up really quickly. Rizzo, Bell, Ty France, Pete Alonso, Lamont Wade Jr., they're still available. So will they get scooped up quickly? We don't know, but a good short-term deal. I believe Paul Goldschmidt got $500,000 more than Santana, correct? Because didn't Santana just get 12?
Let me check that real quick, because it was 12.5 for Goldschmidt. For Santana, I think you're right, but let me check that real quick. 12 million, yeah. So $500,000. So yeah, 12 million for Santana. So
he's a little bit older, but he got a $500,000. Santana's a little bit older, so Goldschmidt got about $500,000 more. Good deal in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Great guy against lefties. You know what I'm saying? Can really mash it against left-handed hitters. Phenomenal, phenomenal glove at first base. He's Gold Glover, 4-time Gold Glover. Another former MVP, which is what the Yankees love. You know how much the Yankees love the MVPs.
Indeed.
Here's a little bit more in depth on Paul Goldschmidt. 295, 366, 437 against lefties in 2024. That's batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage as well. Finished strong last season, batting 271, 319, .480 over the last 62 games in the second half. So those numbers, so he might have got off to a slow start, but he finished strong, which is the exact opposite of what we kind of got from Anthony Rizzo last year. Rizzo had a decent start, but then, injuries hampered him. But it's a great move in my opinion, and I'm with it.
Yeah, in a way, it is a bit of an upgrade at first base. I mean, the Yankees' production at first base has not exactly been the greatest over the last couple of years. So I think Goldschmidt, I mean, despite his age, I get he's a little bit older, but I feel as though, again, like I said, he is a little bit of an upgrade compared to Rizzo, compared to DJ, right? I mean, this was a bat that they needed. Yeah, good signing. It was a good signing. I'm glad they signed him to a 1-year deal. I'm sure he was looking for a 2-year deal, but the problem is, with older players, especially in their mid to late 30s, they're not going to get the deals that they're looking for. When it comes to getting those deals that you're looking for, it's that part is catered to the younger guys. So. The older guys have to eventually they have to settle with what they think is best for them. So they're not going to get exactly what some of these younger guys are going to get. So yeah, man. But it's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I like it. And look at these other moves. Look at Josh Naylor being traded to the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks recovered really quick, and I was extremely surprised that the Guardians traded Naylor. I honestly didn't think they were going to trade him because they traded Jimenez. Mm-hmm. And so, why did they, I'm like, okay, they traded Naylor and they didn't give up. I mean, the Diamondbacks gave up Sassoni, I think is his name. And then he's a pitcher and then a draft pick to the Guardians. So, that was a good move by the Diamondbacks. And then, yesterday's move, you and I, we were talking about it, with Jose Trevino being traded to the Reds for what was his? Oh man, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. The pitcher who's got some filthy stuff, by the way.
Fernando Cruz.
Thank you. And then they're
and a
one of their catchers.
Too.
Yeah, their backup catcher. So Yankees have like 5 catchers now on their freaking team now. So there's got to be some other move coming because they're not going to keep that many catchers. And now the question is who's going to be the backup for Austin Wells, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And it looks like I got our guy here, Mazza from 4Train Express. So what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever met or know each other, but
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He lives in so just so you know, you guys both live in Virginia.
Dope.
So yeah.
I live in the 757. Where do you stay at?
VA Beach.
Oh yeah, I live in Chesapeake, so close. Yeah, same.
Yeah,
adjacent cities. So
yeah. So yeah, no, our friend Mazza here, he's currently in the Navy, so he got relocated to Virginia.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, thank you for your services, and to anybody out there to serve. Thank you guys, because of the contributions that you guys do, we can do stuff like this.
Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, Mazza, let me get your reaction, man. What do you think of that Paul Goldschmidt signing? I mean, how are you feeling about?
I mean, I like the Goldschmidt signing. He has been on the Yankees' radar for some time. However, the signing in general is good because it is an upgrade. His numbers are better than the first baseman that we've had in quite some time. Let's see. I mean, Goldschmidt is a 4-time Gold Glover, 2-time All-Star. He is an MVP. I mean, this guy's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's got great veteran leadership, great veteran presence, and he's a good clubhouse guy from what I've heard. Everybody's loved him. It's a nice signing. It's very team friendly, especially if they're trying to get Kyle Tucker next year. So I'm very happy with it.
Yo, real quick, is there a little bit more of a quiet area you could move into?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
I can try to find something.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're probably like hanging out with family. I know there's a little bit of noise, but the other thing I was going to say too, because I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but I think Judge probably had somewhat of an influence on this because I know him and Goldschmidt worked out together. So, and it really sounded like Goldschmidt had an influence on Judge. So, I think having that veteran leadership, and I think he'll be a good influence for Judge. He'll be a good influence for guys like also Volpe too. So maybe he can help him out a little bit more in the infield and kind of give him some tips. I mean, Goldschmidt does bring that experience. He's got a lot of he's been in the game a long time. So Goldschmidt wasn't on my list of signings, but it's grown on me and it's starting to make a little bit more. It's starting to make a little bit more sense for sure. So. Yeah, but where do the Yankees go from here now? I mean, that's the question now. I think third base, now that I've been thinking about it more and more, I feel like third base is going to be that position that they're going to look for because I think they're going to try and move Jazz to second.
Yeah. It would probably make our defense better to actually get a third baseman. I'd feel more confident in this infield defense. Moving Jazz back to second. Like I said, I didn't think he played bad there, but he was just an inexperience there. The defense would be stronger moving Jazz back to second, but where do you go? Do you go Bregman, like we talked about backstage? Do you go Arenado? Do you go a different route? You know what I'm saying? It all depends, but this move of Goldschmidt definitely opens some things up for the Yankees because we're in a win now mode, but we're also in a plan for the future to get better type mode. Let me ask you something. Let me throw these 3 scenarios at you, and I want you to rank them as far as what you personally would like to see with after this Goldschmidt move. Next year, would you rather see Tucker signed and Bellinger moved to first? That's 1. Bellinger stay in the outfield. You bring in Vlad Guerrero Jr. to play first. That's 2. Or bring in Murakami. Out of those 3 scenarios, because this move opens up all 3 of those options. Also, chat, let it be known in the chat, which one would you rather have 2? 1, 2, or 3? Tucker, Vlad, or Murakami?
Yeah, so folks in the chat, go ahead and make your, pick your option there.
But I want you to rank them, though.
Oh, you want me to rank them?
Best to worst, yeah. Which would you rather have?
So So for me, first I would go Bellinger Tucker. Okay. The second one, I'd probably go Murakami. Third one, I go Vlad.
Okay.
That's me personally.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted your opinion on it.
Yeah, how much absolutely. What about you?
I would probably go Tucker, Bellinger. Then I would probably lean Vlad, Bellinger, and then Murakami. Only because it has nothing to do with Murakami. Until the Dodgers don't get a Japanese player that they're trying to get, then I'll believe that it's more possible. You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't get Roki this year, then I think I'd move that list. I think I'd move Murakami up to 2, same as you. But the Dodgers seem to be able to get any type of Japanese player that they want. So we'll see. That's the only reason. I'm not basing it off of talent. I'm just basing it on circumstance.
I understand. And I do respect that. But yeah, I mean, that's how I would rank mine. Folks are, let's see what people are saying here. Ronnie's saying number 3, our friend, Mr. Controversy. Sean Browning saying Murakami. Li is saying Murakami easy. Li's been wanting Murakami for a while now, so that's no surprise. Ford Train Express, Bellinger and Tucker. Jonathan saying Murakami. Brad is saying Tucker all day. Ken is saying number 1. John Bazzini saying number 1. NY Yankee Mania Joe is saying 1. D-Rod is saying Tucker. He can replace Judge in right field. But yeah, it seems like we're getting and Rob is saying Tucker. Yeah, so there's a mix of answers, but it seems like
that's the
there's definitely some options. Yeah. But I'll also want to ask the chat this because I know how we felt about about the Goldschmidt signing. What does everybody else in the chat think about the Goldschmidt signing? Just go ahead and let me know in the chat, and we'll just continue the conversation from there. But, it's worth mentioning, though, man. I know a lot of folks had their, I got to bring this up. A lot of folks had their doubts about Hal and Cashman, about how they were going to do this offseason, especially after missing out on Juan Soto. What do they bounce back from this? Are they able to bounce back from this? And so far they have answered, and they've answered big time. So, I'm very happy with what they have done so far. I'm not going to give a grade yet because it's too early to give a grade, because I do feel as though the moves are not done. They're not done making moves. So there is still moves to be done. So let's see what else they do. I mean, they could surprise us. You know how the Yankees are.
To answer Eli's question, as far as where would the Dodgers put Murakami, is that what he asked?
Where?
Ace, where would Murakami play on the Dodgers? They could easily 2025. Then they would have 2 more years of Freddie Freeman. Then he's an unrestricted free agent. I mean, who's to say they can't? Who's to say they won't trade Freddie Freeman with the amount of money that the Dodgers have to burn? I'm looking at the payroll for them. Yeah, he'd cost about $27 million. I'm not sure what the dead cap hit would be, but maybe you move in that route. Obviously, Ohtani's the DH; he can't play anywhere else. So maybe they try to off Freddie Freeman. I mean, we'll see. As far as Murakami, but like I said, I'm not saying he's going to the Dodgers. That's not what I'm saying. But until they don't get the Japanese free agent that they're so sought after, we'll see.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting with Murakami when Murakami gets posted, in 2025. But that's still a long ways away. But okay, so we got Goldschmidt, right? Third base. I know you really want Bregman. I know you really want the Yankees to sign Bregman. But how would you feel, honestly? Like, how would you feel if the Yankees did in fact trade for Arenado? And would you accept it if the Cardinals were to eat some of his contract? Because keep in mind too, the Rockies are still on the hook for his contract. They're still paying off some of that money, and there is also deferred money for Arenado. So I'm wondering what that is. Are the Cardinals still responsible for that deferred money?
Yeah. Arenado wouldn't be my first choice.
Right.
You named it. Bregman would be my first choice. Or I would say attack the trade market. There are a couple other names out there that I would personally rather have over Arenado. I talked backstage. I think I would be, if I would trade for Alec Bohm before I would bring in Nolan Arenado. But especially with Arenado having a no trade clause as well. So it's like you have to figure out, like, would he be, like you had mentioned backstage, would he be more prone to it now that Goldschmidt is a Yankee? Would he be more prone to trading his no trade clause? Were we even on his short list of teams that he wanted to go to? Because didn't he name teams and we weren't one of them?
So according to that list that came out, apparently that was the list that he said, okay, these are the teams I'd be open to. But apparently, I think somebody walked that back and said that wasn't true. But again, you're hearing conflicting stories. So who's right, who's wrong? I'm not exactly 100%. So, the Yankees, I mean, it's kind of like what we talked about. They tried trading Stroman to the Cardinals for Arenado, and they said no. But in this case, if you're trying to trade him and you're trying to dump his salary, I mean, you kind of have to come to an agreement somewhere, because if not, you're not doing, the Cardinals aren't doing themselves any favors, and you're stuck with that contract, and his market is limited, and he has a no trade clause. You just tried trading him to the Astros, and he said no. So you're stuck. You gotta settle somewhere.
Also, what would you be comfortable giving up for him?
I mean, it probably would have to start. It wouldn't be. I mean, I would have done Stroman in a package. I won't do like straight up, but I probably would. It would probably start with Stroman, or probably start with a guy like Will Warren potentially for to get Arenado, and then maybe some of the pitching prospects that the Yankees have. Not none of the big names, but just one of the probably I don't want to say low tier, but like low level prospects that I would give them, because again, we're taking on this guy's contract, and he comes with a no trade clause. So I'm not going to give him anything of like high caliber, if that makes sense.
I expected Li's comment. Anytime you mention Will Warren, he's like, nope, nixing any type of Will Warren trade.
Yeah.
Li, who would you trade Will Warren for?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I want to know.
Well, my thing too is you're not going to be able to trade all the. You're not going to play all the prospects. I mean, at some point, some of these guys are going to get moved. And if you're not going to play them, move them. I mean, I think Warren has potential. There's things that he needs to work on. We saw that. I know it's a small sample size. I'm not going to judge him yet, but if there's an opportunity, you got to seize that opportunity. It's kind of like, they traded Nestor Cortez and Caleb Durbin to get Devin Williams. They traded Cody Poteet to get Bellinger, right? So I mean, I like Poteet. I didn't want Poteet to get traded, but guess what? He got traded, and as a result, they ended up getting Cody Bellinger. But it was necessary. It was a move that needed to happen.
Here's the starting bullpen. Well, I shouldn't say starting. Here's the bullpen if the season were to start today. Devin Williams, Luke Weaver on the back end. Yep. Jonathan Loaisiga, he's going to be, he's not going to come in so late, but he's on a roster. Fernando Cruz, Ian Hamilton, Mark Leiter Jr., Jake Cousins, Scott Efroff, Clayton Beeter. Yankees are really high on Clayton Beeter from what we're hearing. So he's probably going to get the first shot over a guy like Will Warren. Where's the spot for him? Like, if you're going to get rid of Stroman, okay, you need a 6 starter. You need a long relief / 6 starter. Maybe that's Beeter. Maybe that could possibly be Will Warren. But I wouldn't be opposed to trading. Let's put it like this. Unlike what, Li loves Will Warren, I'm not letting him hold up any big deal. But I'm not also going to give him away for cheap, because I watched a lot of games last year. I'm not going to sit here and say he's trash. I just think Will Warren has a lot of work to do. Like, I wasn't impressed, but I just think, just like with Ben Rice, he has work to do. But that's a pretty good bullpen, if I do say so myself. Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, we know what that is. Jonathan Loaisiga, if he can stay healthy, but that's a big if. He does have electric stuff. Fernando Cruz, 109 strikeouts and 66 in the third innings is crazy work. Ian Hamilton, good slider. Mark Leiter Jr. showed up in the playoffs for us. They really like him. Jake Cousins, filthy slider. Scott Efross is still a question mark. I don't know why we're hanging on to him. We've barely seen him. They're giving him a shot. They're going to give him a shot. Personally, I would just try to move on from him. Maybe bring up a guy like Will Warren if you're going to get rid of Scott Efross. And then Clayton Beater's are unknown. We don't know what he has at this level. So that's a pretty decent bullpen to start the season off with.
Yeah, that bullpen is solid. I mean, that bullpen is solid. I think they're going to add. They're probably going to add another couple of arms, maybe one more arm to the bullpen. As we always say, there's never enough pitching. You can never have too much pitching. Efros, though, I am with you. I wanted Efros to have a good season. When they traded for him, I wanted him to pitch well, but I don't know if he's the guy, right? Like, I just don't know. I don't know why I'm with you. I don't know why the Yankees are holding on to him. I think they should try to trade him somewhere. Clayton Beeter, I like his stuff. He's actually got some good stuff. I like his pitching style. He's got some potential. Remember that was a guy that the Yankees got from the Dodgers in a trade for Joey Gallo. I don't know how they pulled that off, but they pulled it off. But that was a good name that they got from the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, I think, didn't mind giving him up because they do a pretty good job again, with developing players. So, but I'm glad that they got Clayton Beeter. He's got some stuff. He's got some good stuff. I know they were debating whether or not he's more of like a starter or a reliever, but to me, he's 100% a reliever. I think he's got more bullpen stuff than he does starter stuff.
Yeah. Mr. Coco that says this whole team is high risk, high reward. I disagree. What risk when you have a guy like Paul Goldschmidt on a 1-year deal?
Yeah, that's a low risk reward right there.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, you can possibly try to move him at the deadline. If it doesn't work, if he immediately struggles, you can. If he struggles and Ben Rice is heating up, you can easily make that transition. I disagree with the whole team is a high risk, high reward. Max Fried is a proven commodity. Same thing with Devin Williams. What does he classify as high risk? Like the move because of Goldschmidt? That's very low risk. You can get off that next year. He won't even be on a team.
Yeah, I mean, if to me, if they sign Goldschmidt to like a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal, that's a risk because now you got a player that's going to be pushing 40 if they were to sign him to that type of contract. I mean, I would say Bellinger is in a way he's a risk in a way, right? But I think Bellinger is going to be. I think he's going to be fine. And
that's also 2 years, though. That
that is 2 years,
a long commitment.
Yeah, it's not a long commitment. And the other thing too is that he can opt out, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't because he's been wanting to come play for the Yankees. He's been chomping at the bit to go play for the Yankees. Scott Boras himself said it. I mean, his dad played for the organization too, so I think he's gonna fit just fine. The big thing is going to be, to stay healthy. Health is going to be a factor, right? So it always is. So if these guys can stay healthy, man, forget it. And the moves that the Yankees made with Goldschmidt and guys like Bellinger, they're smart moves because the Yankees didn't really have to spend money on that trade, and the Cubs gave him $5 million. So they offered some of that money for his contract, and then $12.5 million for Goldschmidt. They didn't have to spend a lot, and they didn't have to give up any draft picks or IFA money. That was the other factor. So they were both good moves. I think the lineup right now. I think you have in a way you have a better lineup because it's a little bit more complete. Yeah, we're missing Soto, but the lineup though, there's a little bit more quality in the lineup where everybody in the lineup has a potential to. They all could produce in that lineup. So you're not just relying on the same freaking people in the lineup.
2024 was a tandem. 2025, you're trying to build a complete team. It's team versus tandem, because the team was heavily relied on Judge and Soto. And when they struggled, we struggled. So now the Yankees are trying to build a more complete team, which I feel that they've done that. Position by position, have the Yankees gotten better? Right field, have they gotten better than Soto last year? Yes, Judge is better than Soto. So he goes back to right field. Center field, did we get better? I would probably say defensively we got better because Bellinger's better defensively than Aaron Judge. In center field, I would say, depending on what you can do with Jason Dominguez, our outfield, regardless though, defensively, we got a lot better. Like Verdugo didn't give us anything offensively. All we had no production from first base last year, barely any production from catcher, at least to start the season, and no production out of left field. This year, Judge, Bellinger, Jason Dominguez. Now in the infield, third base, we're going to have a full season of Jazz Chisholm this year, which is good. Anthony Volpe's getting that playoff experience. Hopefully he comes around. Second base by default, we have to get better at second base. You can't get any worse defensively than Gleyber Torres. He was the worst second baseman in the league.
Yeah.
So technically, you could throw anybody out there and it might be better. First base, we got no production from Anthony Rizzo. Look at what happened. Clay Holmes, Devin Williams is a major upgrade from Clay Holmes. If Clay Holmes doesn't blow half the saves, we probably end up with 100 wins last year. Last year. So there've been major upgrades, dude. And Wells being the full-time starter, not splitting time with Jose Trevino. Like I said, hats off to Howell and kudos to Cashman. They've been killing it this offseason, in my opinion. I give it an A off season so far. I mean, I give it an A- off season so far. You go get yourself a Bregman, which is we need one more infielder, and it's a solid A off season. Won't give it an A plus because any season you lose Soto, I'm not giving it an A plus, but I give it a solid A.
Yeah, so far it's an A. You know, we'll see when it's all said and done when they're done making moves. But you know, yeah, I think I think all around they've improved the team in some ways. I mean, and defensively, I expect this team to be better because that's going to be their focus. And and I know we talked about it before, but with Clay Holmes blowing those saves, I mean, you got to keep in mind some of those saves that were blown was infield's fault.
Of course, but
You
still,
know, but
yeah.
it's still frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating, but
that's why you got to get better defensively, which is what we're trying to do this year.
Yeah, 100%. So, hopefully Volpe. You know, we're talking about the infield. Hopefully Volpe has a better year in his third year. He started out fine in the second year. He actually showed some hope in the playoffs, which was nice. Third base. I mean, assuming it's Jazz Chisholm, if he's going to be kept there, I think he'll do a fine job. But I could see a scenario where the Yankees are going to go after a third baseman. I think they want to try and move Jazz to second because that's where you're going to get the best production out of him.
Same.
And then, what do you call it? I just saw a comment that just made me laugh. So,
put on which one? By who?
This dude from Gusto. You see it?
It just happened. He just. Oh, I'm all the way down. I'm all the way up. Hold on.
Oh, you're all the way up?
Where he added Rodney?
Yeah, he added Ronnie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wow.
They love you in here, man.
Yeah, apparently, man.
There's a lot of people that want to spend the night on that couch.
Yeah, well, they ain't getting near that couch, and they're going to have to spend some money. And they already know what the price is, but so none of these fools are going to afford it. Just playing. Yeah. You all ain't fools. maybe Mr. Controversy, but nah, just kidding.
But also, everybody hit that like button. Got a lot of people in the building. Smash that like, guys. Let's get to 100.
Yeah, let's try and get to 100. You know, I got my guy Ace here from the Ace Avenue, and we're hanging out, just talking Yankees, talking baseball, the moves that they made. So we're about just a little over a half hour into the live stream. So make sure we're all hitting that like button. Let's continue growing this channel, share this channel out. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Ace Avenue.
Appreciate that.
I would appreciate it. I know Ace would as well. So please do that. Please do that.
But I'm very confident with this team. I still think as of right now we're the best team in the AL. Like no one else around the AL has made any moves like that. So
yeah, on paper, I would definitely say the Yankees are the best team right now in the AL. I mean, the teams in the American League, they haven't really done much. I mean, yeah, there's been a few moves here and there, but it's nothing, extravagant. So, yeah, man, it's, the Yankees are the only ones that are staying active. And, if they're trying to get back into the World Series, I mean, I have a feeling, the Dodgers are probably going to be back. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, after making some other additions, I mean, they're just getting everybody and anybody and deferring money. So they're doing a good job with that. So I think the Yankees, they're making these moves because they learned that lesson in the World Series. So
and it's also hard to repeat in baseball. It's really hard to do that. We haven't seen that in since the Yankees.
Yeah, going 3-4 years in a row or going back to back.
Going back to back, yeah.
Yeah, going back to back, man. Yeah, they haven't done that. No team has done that in a while. I think the Yankees are
we were
the last team to do it, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were the real dynasty team. There's really no other team that has even come close. You could say, I mean, I'll probably cause a little controversy here. So, I mean, you could say potentially the Astros, but they've never really gone back to back. They've had good teams. They've had good seasons. but nothing to to the extent of what the Yankees were.
Yeah.
But that's just my take.
Check this stat on Fernando Cruz. The 5th most strikeouts among relievers in baseball over the last 2 seasons, 185. This man be mowing them down. Yankees wanted. That's the problem. The Yankees wanted swing and miss last year. They couldn't really get it in, but they got the swing and miss stuff this year. So between that, Devin Williams, Cashman and them, their bread and butter is finding some bullpen pieces. So
that's always been Cashman's ammo, man. He's always been very good at finding bullpen arms. How he does it, I don't know, but him and his team really do an excellent job of finding bullpen arms. So good on Cashman. That trade yesterday, late last night with trading Jose Trevino, that was smart.
Yep.
That was like, wow, how did he do that? So man. So, and the other thing too is, he's 34, but he comes with he's under 4 years of control too.
Mm-hmm.
That's also worth mentioning.
Yep.
And that catcher that they got, though, I have a feeling that they could flip him to another team in a package, because again, the Yankees have 5 catchers. You're not going to keep all those guys. I mean, you're going to have to move them at some point. So, again, I know we talked about who's going to be the backup catcher for Austin Wells. I don't think it's going to be the guy that they got last night. I mean, I'm seeing JC Escara. That's the one. That's the one guy that probably comes the closest. I mean, it would have been Narvaez. I would have said Narvaez, but he got traded to Boston.
Yep.
So, are you thinking Escara as well, or what are we thinking?
Maybe to start, like we had talked about before, you could possibly have Rice as an emergency catcher on there as well.
Sure.
But you're not going to have 2 lefties up there because you're going to want to split at some point. Even though these guys need to be able to learn to hit lefties, like the whole lefty thing, you got to learn. Regardless of who it is, I don't want anybody that's going to threaten Austin Wells starting. That's why I'm kind of glad. Like Jose Trevino, good Yankee. He had a lot of good moments. We saw a lot of walk-off hits. Seemed like he loved being a Yankee, but Boone needs these guys off the team because he's too tempted to use them. That's exactly why DJ LeMahieu needs to be the next to go. I don't care how much it's going to cost, especially after those comments that Cashman was saying the other day. All this equity that you built with me in the offseason will go right out the door if DJ LeMahieu is starting second base this season, because he's like, second base could be open. We could see Cabrera. We could see Vivas. We could see Peraza. Even LeMahieu. I'm like, no, do not put DJ LeMahieu out there to start every day.
Yeah.
But these guys need to be removed so Boone isn't tempted to throw them out there on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and I think it's with Cashman saying that, I think he's just saying, okay, well, these are the options, but he's probably exploring other options too. Remember, he was hyping up Caleb Durbin, right? Next thing you know, Caleb Durbin gets traded with Nestor. So it's just he's letting people know, like, here's what we can do. We could potentially do. This is already an option that we already have internally, but doesn't mean that we're not going to explore other options. So the Yankees and other organizations, they're not going to come out and tell you, yeah, this is our game plan. The only thing that you knew about the Yankees going into this offseason was trying to re-sign Juan Soto, and that wasn't a secret. So they're not going to reveal all their plans. But I don't think I highly doubt DJ will be a starting second baseman. He needs to be a guy that comes off the bench. And I saw Ken's comment earlier saying that, and you brought this up too, that they do need to improve the bench. And he was talking about bringing John Birdie back. I like John Birdie, but the injuries, again, it's concerning. When he's on, he's on.
I like the versatility though.
I do like the versatility too.
Same thing with Cabrera.
Cabrera, yeah. Well, Cabrera is going to be a guy that's going to come off the bench though. And I see Kent's comment here. He says, "Get off of DJ's jock. Y'all are crying cast off season to DFA stand, call for Judge to be benched, and Yeah, a lot of fans were complaining about that, Ken. I mean, I don't know why people are. The DFA Stanton thing. I'm like, can you? We're in what world? And
Because he
then
looked terrible to start the season. Like he
sure,
swinging and missing at everything outside the zone if you just throwing sliders. But after the Yankees struggled, I said that I would no longer criticize Stanton on my channel after I saw our record with how bad. Because you know that when he got injured, we had that June July stretch, and it was terrible. Yankee
mm-hmm.
fans were ready to be on pitchforks and revolt and everything. And I'm like, bro, we need Giancarlo Stanton back. This is the thing with Stanton. You got to prepare for him to get hurt. He's going to get
Mm-hmm.
hurt every single year. That's why
Yeah.
you have to have depth with this lineup. That's why you have to have a good bench. You have to have guys that are ready to come up from the minors to contribute because Stanton is going to spend a stint on the IL. But when he comes back for the playoffs, you need to bubble wrap him to the playoffs. He's going to be on it. One of our best, probably our best hitter in the playoffs this year, and that's including Soto. So Stanton was on one this postseason. So, but we also need other guys that can contribute when it comes to the postseason. But we'll cross those bridges when it comes. Next thing that we really have to worry about is maybe acquiring another infielder. We got to figure out the third base position or the second base position. So would you be? Let me ask you something. Would you be open if they came out right now and said we're going to keep Jazz at third, but we're going to have a position battle with Cabrera, Peraza, and Vivas at second? Would you consider? And then the off season's done. We're just going to add bullpen. Would you be okay with that?
I'm down. Because it's not going to cost them, right? These guys are already on the team, so you don't have to go out and spend more money. They got Goldschmidt on a cheap deal. And then, let those three battle it out. Why not? It's like Yankees fans are, they already talk about how Cabrera doesn't get a lot of playing time and they're doing him a disservice. Then I remember when they brought up Vivas during that Baltimore series, he didn't play and fans were pissed off about that. And then Peraza, we already know we're not gonna talk about it. We already know how we talk about how this guy doesn't get played. He gets brought up, gets sent back down. And Peraza is out of options. So what happens now?
Yep.
So
maybe they put Cabrera down to start because if Peraza's out of options, he has to be up.
Yeah, and NYY Yankees rule says play Peraza at third base and move Jazz to second. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Peraza could absolutely play third. He could really play anywhere in the infield except for first base, I would say. I don't think he could play first base, but he could play second. He could play shortstop. He can play. He can play, third base. So you put him anywhere in that infield. He can, the guy could play, but I wouldn't be opposed to that either. I mean, they could easily move Jazz to second and and just put Peraza at third, or have I don't know if can Vivas play third? I'm not sure.
No, he's a middle infielder.
He's a middle. Yeah, I thought so. So
let me throw this lineup at you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we go the Peraza route at third to save money, right? Because Yankees are getting real close. Let's say we go to Peraza route. The Yankees are enamored over his glove. They think defensively he's really good. Offensively, he has not found it. But he's out of options. Let's say that's the initial start. Because keep in mind, you could always make moves at the deadline if you have to, right?
Yeah.
If you went Volpe, Bellinger, Judge, Wells, Stanton, Jazz, Paul Goldschmidt, Jason Dominguez, Peraza. Well, how would you feel about that particular lineup?
So you said Volpe,
Bellinger,
Judge,
Wells, Stanton, Jazz,
Stanton.
Goldschmidt, Jason Dominguez, Peraza. My only thinking is righty, lefty, righty, lefty with Jazz, righty and Goldschmidt, switch hitter and Dominguez, righty and Peraza. So the only back-to-back righties you would have would be at the bottom and at the top, Peraza and Volpe.
The lineup. So what I would change, I don't like Wells at the 4 spot.
The only reason I did that is to split the righties between Judge and Stanton.
I understand. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like Wells at the 4 spot. I'm just not. We saw him at the 4 spot, and he did well for a little bit, but he stunk after that. Then they had him in the bottom, which I think that's where he belongs. I think he's like a 7th or 8th bat in the lineup. Peraza, I'm down with him being number 9. Volpe, I mean, he right now that's your only choice for for leadoff. There's really not a guy right
Jazz.
now. Potentially Jazz, but I can't do Jazz at leadoff right now because he's got he needs to cut down on those strikeouts. So I wouldn't, so Volpe's the only guy that makes sense. And then you had Bellinger batting second, right?
Yep. To split between him and Judge.
Yeah. I do like that. I mean, what do you think about Bellinger batting 4th? Would you be down with that? Him batting right after Judge?
Who you put in the 2-hole?
So Volpe then.
Unless you're gonna go Volpe, Judge, Bellinger, the 1, 2, 3. But if you said 3rd and you said Bellinger 4th, so who you putting in the 2-hole?
So yeah, Volpe, and probably probably Judge would be 2nd. Mm-hmm. I would prefer Judge 3rd. I like him at that 3 spot.
I like the conventional style of getting a guy that can get on base in front of Judge for a potential big inning. It's analytics that tell you he should be at second. He should be batting second because they want him to get more at bats. Would you go Volpe, Jazz at the top?
Volpe, Jazz, that would be good because of the fact that you have those guys going back to back, and if they could both get on base, you have that threat on the bases, right? I'd be all right. I'd be good with that, and then I'd go Volpe, Jazz, Judge, probably Bellinger, then Stanton. Go Stanton, then go Goldschmidt. Right, so Goldschmidt would be number 6.
I would want to split the righties. Maybe put Wells after Stanton since he's down in the order. That puts him at 6. Then Goldschmidt behind him, or even Dominguez behind Stanton. You need to have some protection from Stanton, so you need to have a guy that can split them. But if you're gonna put Dominguez behind Stanton, that means Wells is going to the A spot based on a balanced lineup. Yeah.
And I like Wells down there. Like I like him in that 8th, like 7th or 8th spot. I think that's more suited for him, honestly. So, but as of right now, though, I mean, the Yankees' only leadoff hitter is Volpe. But I hope he's not the leadoff hitter come opening day. If I'm being honest, I don't know, but there's nobody else unless they get someone, or unless they sign or trade for someone. I'd rather have Volpe more towards like the bottom of the lineup because I feel like that's where he produces best. Because they had him at the leadoff spot. If you remember at the beginning of the season, he was doing well. It was like, okay, yeah. But then after that, it just went like he kind of went downhill. So I was just like, oh man, this guy's kind of going back to his old ways. But
because the thing is, his approach needs to change. You need to start going to right field more. Stop trying to pull everything because like he got enamored by that, his early home run success. You got to open up that stance, man, and hit it to right field because like in Yankee Stadium, more balls can get out that way. Like stop trying to pull everything, Anthony. Like I think Anthony Volpe would be a great leadoff hitter if he can get that OPS a little higher. You need to get on base more. You need a table setter at first. You need a table setter to lead off.
Yeah, I mean the perfect guy would have been Gleyber Torres, but I'm not really wanting him back, man. I still don't
think of Gleyber as your ideal leadoff guy. Did he play well there? Yes, he found it towards the second half of the season. But I still don't view him as your prototypical leadoff guy. I really don't. I think, like I said, I think he found success in there, but I don't think he was that. Jason from 161 is in the building. Says might
shout
be
out
good to
to my
look
guy
at Yandy.
Jason.
Would you take Yandy 3rd/leadoff, better OPP, batting champion 2023?
He's a guy that I was wanting the Yankees to go after, in a trade, for first base, but he could play 3rd. So he might be an option. And, Donovan is another name, that's a name that Jason has talked about for a long freaking time was Brandon Brandon Donovan from the Cardinals.
I wouldn't
So,
mind that.
oh no, I wouldn't either. I think he's definitely his bat would be perfect, and I think he'd be a good leadoff guy. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think he'd be fantastic for the Yankees. But wondering if the Yankees could go after him. I know they had talks with Arenado. I wonder if they ever explored getting a guy like Donovan on the team. If they talked with the Cardinals about it at all.
Well, I mean, we got to figure some. We got to, this is the thing. We're close. Yankees are close. Realistically, you add one more infielder, one more bat, and I think we're good to go. I think this team is going to be ready for opening day because what else can you do from here? Bullpen. You could always add that throughout the season. But yeah, I think we need one more bat. If we're able to get ourselves a Bregman, move Jazz to second, and you call that a good season. I mean, a good off season. If you're going to keep Jazz at third, he needs to work at it. Our weaker infield would be Jazz at third because then we don't know what's going on with second. Our strongest one would be Jazz going back up the middle and Bregman at third. So,
yeah. Well, I know you want Bregman. I know you're on the break. I know you want Alex Bregman.
Yeah, because I'm not against him like a lot of Yankee fans are. We're like, oh,
I'm not. Listen,
he cheated.
Yeah, no. Listen, I'm over it. Like the thing is, if the Yankees get him, fine. Like I'll, obviously I'll root for him. But I don't see him signing with the Yankees. It's just it's all not because of the whole scandal thing. I'm over that. It's just he's another guy that comes with a QO. The Yankees already signed Max Fried.
That's also true.
So the thing is, I don't think they want to get another. They don't want to get another player with a QO, and they don't want to lose another 2 draft picks, right? So, I'm not for that. And Virgil 9000 is asking thoughts on Luis Arias or Bo Bichette.
I can't. Every time Luis Arias is brought up, I shake my head. I am not a fan of Luis Arias.
Yeah.
Bo Bichette.
Where are you going to play Bo Bichette? That's the question.
He'd be up the middle. That's where it would be. You keep Jazz at third. I'm not. No, It's every time Luis Arias' name gets brought up, hard pass. I'm good. I don't want him. I really don't. His defense is like worse than Gleyber's.
Yeah, he's got a good bat. I mean, I'll say that he's got a good bat, but that'd be another rental too for the Yankees. So,
what about short-term options? Like I'm gonna see. Let me see. MLB free agents.
Mm-hmm.
In 2026. What about a short-term? What about a stopgap infielder? Somebody that you can trade for that would be a 1 year that you can put on the infield so you figure it out long term.
Who do you have in mind?
I'm looking up now.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Lau's a name that's getting thrown out there a lot.
So I wouldn't mind. Yeah, Brandon Lau. I've mentioned his name. I wouldn't mind him. That was a guy that I wouldn't mind the Yankees getting. We're talking second base, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brandon Lau. I mean, for second base, absolutely. I mean, sign me up. He's a guy, right? Brandon Lau could be a guy that could lead off, right? If the Yankees were to sign him. Or not sign him, but trade for him. He could be a guy. Jay Snow is saying Jose Iglesias to play second.
He just wants that oh my God song to be in the Yankees.
Yeah, he'd be cool. Another name that that folks have talked about, like trading for they could. I don't know if they will. I doubt it, but. What about a guy like Max Muncy?
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that the Yankees could potentially trade for. I'm not saying they will, but he's good. Max Muncy's good. Kike Hernandez, maybe. He's another one. He could. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because I'm looking at Ozzy Albies.
Ozzy Albies. Oh, from the Braves?
From Atlanta. I'm just looking at him. He's under control. $5 million. $7 million club option after that. I'm just looking at his stats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're okay. So, 251 batting average last year. Not a lot of pop. 1.6 WAR. 707 OPS, just under league average. I mean, we'll see. Like I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I wouldn't mind going to. Yankees have been very aggressive in trades this year. We
Yeah.
really have been. So
Big
who's to
time.
say maybe they grab another infielder via trade.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be another trade. I don't think they're gonna sign a bat. I highly doubt they're gonna sign a bat. I think it's gonna be a trade. And honestly, now that I've been thinking about it more and more, I think it's gonna be a third baseman because I think I'm pretty. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they're gonna try and find a way to move Jazz to second.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that? You think that's a thing?
I think that'd be best because you put Jazz more in a position he's more comfortable with up the middle and solidify third.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we talked about this several times. I don't think Jazz was bad at third. His inexperience killed him. He's got one hell of an arm, so he's got an arm for third base, definitely. Can throw the ball on a rope. But if you're going to keep Jazz at third, he needs an entire spring training to work at it.
Yeah, that's why I could see them in the short term going, trading, still trying to trade for Arenado, and they'd be on the hook with him for another 3 years. So yeah, I don't see. I just don't see them signing another player right now. I don't see not another player, but I don't see them signing another bat.
Yeah.
I think any money that they spend now, it's probably going to be on some bullpen arms. If they are going to spend any money, I know some folks are saying, Tanner Scott. I don't know that the Yankees are going to go after him. I mean, they already got Devin Williams, but that would be a killer bullpen with freaking Weaver, Williams, and Scott. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, the problem with him is he's going to command closer money
for
not being a closer. So
yeah, he's going to demand 18 to 19 million probably.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think about this. Dude, we got the perfect second baseman free agent. Gleyber Torres. Just bring him back. If the Yankees, if you saw breaking news, Yankees bring back Gleyber Torres, how would you feel? What would your first reaction be?
I'd be shocked, man. I'd be like, no freaking way. I mean, look, I've said it many times on this channel. I like Gleyber Torres. I have no problems with him. I like the guy. I really do. Just his 2024, he frustrated me. I mean, I know he frustrated a lot of fans. It was just like, dude, like, man, what are you doing? You're also, it's like you're part of the reason why the Yankees could have, didn't win 100 games. We could have won 100 games, right? There's a lot of players to blame, but I would, I mean, if they brought him back, I mean, fine, but I hopefully that's not the case. But if they did, let's just say they did, it better be on a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going more than a year for him. No way. And his market right now, it's not, when you think about it, it's not strong. There's teams interested, but he's not interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because he wants to be a Yankee. He wants to be a Yankee. He's waiting for that phone call. If that happened, my first instinct would be, son of a, like, damn it, we got to put up with another year of this shit. Like, damn it, man. Like, because like I said, I mean, we all said it. At some point, Gleyber was going to cost us a game. He contributed to it in the postseason. Him and Aaron Boone, they both contributed to it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you brought up Alec Bohm for third. So you would entertain that?
I would.
You would? Okay.
It depends on what you have to give up. I don't think Alec Bohm.
You're looking up the stats?
28 years old. He'll be 29 at the end, towards the end of the season in August. I think he's a solid player for them. I really do. 3.0 WAR, 280 batting average, which is pretty high in this day and age of baseball.
Yeah.
779 OPS above league average. OPS plus 117. I think he's a solid ball player. I really do.
I mean, yeah. Looking at those numbers, because you said WRC plus 115.
Yeah, he had a good year.
Right.
His His batting average, OBP, slugging, OPS, and OPS plus were all higher than his career average last year. So he had a strong 2024. I'd take him. What would we give up? We'd probably have to give up some pitching prospects. Maybe include Will Warren. Maybe see if you can flip Peraza. Maybe also throw in maybe a catching prospect. I mean, JT Realmuto, they have him. I forget how old he is. But maybe you throw in a catching prospect.
Yeah, and the Yankees
33. So
yeah, JT's 33.
Yep.
Yeah,
so he's not gonna be a catcher much longer. I can't imagine you being a catcher in your mid 30s. Like that's definitely gonna take a toll on you. But I would entice that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish
that. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's gonna be 34 to start the season.
Yeah. So why not sweeten the deal by saying you can have a young catcher that you can build on, that you can build with? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd go Bohm, and then you go ahead and move Jazz over to second. I call that an offseason.
And that would be a solid infield, right? With Goldschmidt, Jazz, Volpe, and then Alec Bohm. I mean, you can't go wrong with that infield. And the if the Yankees, I don't know if the Yankees, I'm sure they checked in with the Phillies, because they're, when it comes to players that are available in a trade or free agents, the Yankees are going to check in, right? They're going to do their due diligence. It doesn't always mean that they're after them, but they're going to always check in. But they could offer them, they could offer Will Warren and then one of their catchers, because they have a lot of catchers. So it's like they can afford to move on from, a couple of them. So, yeah. I don't know who else would be, I don't know who else they would have to give up. Maybe one of their infield prospects that they have, because the Yankees have a lot of infield prospects. So they can always find a way to move on from one of their infield prospects.
Yeah.
So
$8 million this year for Bohm. Then he has arbitration. So he has about 2 this year and next year really under control. And then he's an unrestricted free agent in 2027. So $8 million for a corner infielder.
Yeah.
Dude, I would sign up for that. And then arbitration just depends on how well he does this year.
Yeah, and the other thing I've heard about Bohm, and I don't know if you heard this, and I don't know how true it is, but he's got a bit of a character problem. So I don't know if that's, I mean, I know they've said that about other players and the Yankees have gotten them, but it seemed like they were fine. But I have heard that about Bohm. I don't know if you have.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anything, but
okay.
The thing about it is when it comes to that, like, I mean, I don't care what the guy does off the field. If that's the case, as long as he wins for us on the field, that's all I really care about. And as long as it's not a distraction. But the Yankees have good leadership around them. Mm-hmm. So, that's the thing. That matters. You have Aaron Judge, who's a leader. You have a good clubhouse, saying the guys that, are starting to want to be here. Jazz wants to be here. Max Fried wants to be here. You got Bellinger that wanted to be here. So you're starting to build a little bit culture as well of guys that want to be here. So even if there is a couple problems, I think it could be nipped in the bud. That's why I'm not totally against bringing in Alex Bregman. Like, yeah, well, Cody Bellinger's been on record saying, yeah, he's, they cheated, blah, blah, blah. But that type of stuff gets squashed once your teammates. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson had problems with Garrett Cole. They were able to squash that real quick,
True. Yeah. And it could be that Bohm may need a change of scenery, because they said the same thing about Jazz. Jazz was a problem in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I think Jazz was just miserable being on the Marlins.
I would be too. I'd be trying to raise out a guy there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Stroman. Stroman, they said it's not a guy that will attack you off, Twitter. I mean, will attack you via Twitter. Had his moments last year with Gleyber Torres. Aaron Judge, went to him, calmed him down. That's why you need good leadership.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, and you bring up leadership, I think Judge is a better leader than what people say, because they feel like, he's not a good leader. Now, I won't take a deep dive into it, but do I feel like he was given the captain role like too soon? I think so. I think there was other play. I think a guy like Cole should have been given that, because he's got the experience and the leadership. But I think Judge will do a fine job as a captain. And he's learning. He's learning, and I think he's doing fine. I'm sure, and I think a guy like Goldschmidt will be will be a good influence for him. I mean, he likes Goldschmidt a lot. So let's see what happens there. And Bohm, let's just say if the Yankees did get Bohm, would Bohm be your leadoff guy?
Probably still not.
Like still not. Okay.
Probably still not. I would still probably at least start the season off with Volpe and, see what happens with that. Buster Olney put out a lineup a couple of hours ago. Dominguez in center field leading off, Judge in right field, Bellinger in left field, Giancarlo Stanton DHing, Jazz behind him, Goldschmidt at first base, Wells, then a third base platoon of either Cabrera, LeMahieu, or Peraza, and Volpe at 9. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm looking at his lineup right now. So Dominguez leading off, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton at 4, Chisholm at 5, Goldschmidt at 6. 7th, you got Wells, and I don't want Dominguez leading off yet. I know he's been talked about a lot about being a leadoff guy, but I wouldn't start with that yet because I still have to see what Dominguez is. We've only seen a very small sample size of him. I understand he's got a lot of potential, and he does have a lot of potential, but let's not put him at leadoff yet.
Yeah. Here's the thing with this lineup.
Uh-huh.
This lineup so far is very, very well balanced. So you're not putting pressure on a guy like Jason Dominguez to come up and be the guy. He doesn't have to be the savior. He's a guy that can fit into his role and then start going off. You know what I'm saying? Because this team, to me, like I said, I'm looking at the team, and I'm like, this is a balanced squad.
That's a balanced squad.
For real.
Yeah, no, it's a balanced squad. I mean, Dominguez, he's a switch hitter too, so that helps.
Yep. Even
though he's better from the left side. It's just, you may not look for him to be the savior, but, again, we have to, expectations, right? Fans are, if you're putting this guy at leadoff and he's already being compared to Mickey Mantle, a lot of Yankees fans are going to have their
that's why we have to temper our expectations.
Well, we do,
us as Yankee fans, we're our own worst enemy. Like, oh, you talked about it before. Volpe's the next Derek Jeter. Like, can he just be Anthony Volpe?
Yeah. Yeah, and I keep saying that, and it's just, when it comes to patience with these young guys, right, when it comes with these prospects, a lot of Yankees fans aren't exactly the greatest. So, they have to, you got to give these guys time. Yeah. So
Jay Snow says Volpe doesn't hit enough to lead off. That's the thing. You don't have to hit enough. You got to get on base to be a leadoff guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have said Volpe's not patient enough, then I would have agreed with you. But I'm not going to go up there and say hit enough. He needs to get on base, table setter.
Yeah, and I think Volpe has the potential. He just needs to show a little bit more patience at the plate. I think he's still falling for certain pitches, and that's where opposing pitchers are like, okay, we know we could get this kid. We could get this guy. So,
the tape is out. The tape is out. People watch. Yeah. Same thing with Austin Wells. You throw him a high fastball, he's swinging and missing at that shit. I saw it all last year, and it's like that's why guys have to adjust. I mean, for the longest time, Aaron Judge, especially when umpires would call that low strike on him, throw it low to him. The umpires would call it. That's how you got past Aaron Judge until the umpires stopped calling it.
Yeah, and that was the thing because and I'm glad you brought this up because the Yankees, right, like they were off to this hot start. And then, yes, I know injuries played a role in their struggle, but people were asking, what happened with this team. I've said this, and I don't know if a lot of people agreed with me, but I was saying that other teams were watching before they played the Yankees. They started scouting them and they made their adjustments. Whereas the Yankees didn't make their adjustments when they were going up against whatever teams were coming up. Other teams were watching. They're like, oh, okay, this is what they were doing against these teams. Here's how we need to make these adjustments. Scouting is really important. So that's another thing that I hope the Yankees improve on going into 2025 as well. So they have to make adjustments. You can't just do the same thing over and over again because you're gonna definition of doing the same thing over and over again. Insanity. So hopefully, as far as that goes, they they do a better job with that.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I kind of chalked it up to the ebbs and flows of baseball. You got out to such a hot start, you were down to come down to earth at some point. And unfortunately, the Yankees fell hard in June and July. But then that's when you need consistency. And that's why you're thankful for such a hot start, because every team is going to struggle. Baseball is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, it doesn't matter how fast of a start you get out to. Look at the Mets. They got out to a slow start and then peaked at the right time. And every team goes through highs. Every team has lows. No team this year hit 100 wins. You know, that's the baseball season. That's kind of what I chalked that up to. And luckily, like I said, we got off to such a hot start because if not, if we would have got off to an average start and then hit that low in June, July, we probably would have lost the division to the Orioles. But that's why you need a balanced team, because at any point in time, the way the baseball season always works is you get carried by a handful of hitters week by week. Some players may be a little more hot than others. You may get carried one week by Judge, Volpe, Cabrera. Last year, we saw Soto and Cabrera get off to such a good start. Then they start to struggle a little bit. That's when you need other guys to step up, because you can be carried by 2 or 3 hitters to win you a game or two, you know, and then when other guys start struggling, that's when. But, you know, when a team is everybody's hot, everybody's going to cool off at a certain point. That's baseball.
Yeah, it is. I mean, baseball, just like any other sport, I mean, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. It's not going to always be smooth sailing, right? So, and Graham, to your comment, what you're saying, NFEs, that other teams outthought the Yankees. Yes, they did. I mean, another thing I wanted to bring up, and again, when I was talking with Howie Carpin when I had him on the channel, was that look at some of these teams that they played against in the National League. Their record against the National League during the season was terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got swept by the Reds. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals.
That was also, that was a bad time. And then
that was a bad time. Yeah.
And here's the thing too. That's why you need a manager in Aaron Boone that can manage. Because, when guys are slumping, you got to manage your way to victories at some point. Meaning push the right buttons, get the guys motivated, stuff like that. We'll see the same thing in 2025. We'll see at some point in time, this Yankee team is going to hit a floor where everybody's going to be like, oh, blah, 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 fire so-and-so, fire Cashman, fire Boone, blah, blah, blah. And then when they start streaking again, those same people that were being negative aren't gonna come back until the playoffs when somebody starts struggling. You know how it goes.
Of course.
Aaron Judge's going to get out to a hot start. But what is he going to do in the playoffs? Bro, we're in June. Can we worry about that? You can't win a championship in June, bro. It's impossible. No team has ever won the World Series in June. Just, we'll get there.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to ask you a question about Boone, and before I do that, Ken's been chomping at the bit about Jerickson Profar. So, he's saying Jerickson Profar is the player to bring in at second. He's seeking a 3-year, approximately $45 million deal. He's I think he meant to say okay hitter, and splits in 150 at bats versus left-handed pitching. He hits 300. Sign him now.
What's his defense look like at second and third base, Ken? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, because I know he's I feel like I've only seen him play left field. And I like Profar. I wouldn't mind a player like him. He could be potentially, the Yankees could look into him, but what is he like in the infield? I have no idea. I've actually never seen him play in the infield, so I don't know.
Before signing Goldschmidt last night, I was thinking about possibly bringing him in as a stopgap outfielder. We had this, I think I talked to you about, I think I was talking to my nephew about it, where I was thinking, I was like, maybe it's a real possibility with the first base market stalling that we start Belly at first base and you bring in a stopgap outfielder for 1 year. But the thing is, Profar wants a 3-year deal. He's seeking 3 to 4 years. That wouldn't be a stopgap option. He crossed my mind last night as a stopgap outfielder, but then all of a sudden we got Goldschmidt today. So I think I don't think the Yankees will end up with Profar.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think so either. I would have liked them, but I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that'll be an option for the Yankees, honestly. But I think they're set. I mean, as far as the outfield goes, they're set. Infield, they need another bat.
Yep.
Bullpen, I think they're gonna, they'll probably add about, another one or two arms potentially, and then the bench. The question is what's going to be the bench. What's the bench going to look like? That's a mystery right there. But so the question I wanted to ask you about Aaron Boone was this. Now we know his option was exercised for 2025. We knew inevitably he was going to be back, right? I know the Yankees organization, like Hal has said that they haven't really talked extension or anything like that with him. Do you have that conversation with him in the middle of the season, or do you let 2025 play out and then have that conversation in the next off season?
I'll let 2025 play out because,
Okay.
let him find some urgency too. Because remember, the Yankees let Girardi's contract just play itself out and then moved on. Maybe the
Yeah.
Yankees want that option too. Maybe he wants to get extended. Maybe the Yankees want to be more flexible just in case if this year duds out, which, I hope not. If this year duds out, you can just go ahead and just move on from Boone, not fire him, save him his dignity, and just be like, yeah, we know we're just going to go in a separate direction. So it's good to have that option. So I definitely think they play 2025 out. What do you think?
That's what I would want the Yankees to do, is let him play out 2025, then revisit that conversation after the offseason. And depending on how things play out, then either you let him go or you keep him. But I don't think there should be a conversation in the middle of the season. I think they should just let 2025 play out. And I think that's what's going to happen. I feel like if there was a talks of extension, I think it would have happened by now, in my opinion. But again, we never know how the Yankees are going to operate. But I think they let 2025 play out. Yeah. I think they should absolutely let 2025 play out and then figure out what needs to happen next. Do they bring him back, or do they go a different direction? And who replaces Boone? I have no idea at this moment. I mean, the one guy that I would have really liked would have been Terry Francona, because I do like Tito. I am a Francona fan. But outside of that, I don't know who replaces him.
Yeah,
I really don't. But this comment from Ken real quick. He said Profar was a shortstop, second baseman with the Rangers. He replaced Elvis Andrus, and he was a plus defender. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, as far as Boone, though, if we get back-to-back World Series, if we make back-to-back World Series appearances, I think he's coming back.
So regardless if they win or don't win in 2025, he's being brought back.
I think so. It's hard to move on from a guy that got you there. It also depends on circumstance. If we just go to the World Series and we have another season where we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot, but if we just genuinely lose to the better team, I think he'll be back.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I remember when Girardi was let go and they brought Boone, and it's just like, a lot of fans didn't really feel good about Girardi being let go. But you brought up the point of going, back-to-back World Series. The thing is, Girardi, I have no problems with him. I always felt he was a great manager. He was a good manager. He had that good discipline. The team, fundamentally sound. You always had that with when he was running the team, but he only made one World Series appearance. They didn't make it to the World Series after that. It took this team a whole 15 years to get back into the World Series. Yeah, he got him into the postseason, right? He got him into the postseason, but it just wasn't. But then they get eliminated by better teams, unfortunately. But it's just during that time from 2008 to 2017, he only took him to the World Series once. After that, after 2009, they never got back in there. So, at which point it's like, yeah, they moved on from Girardi. And with like Joe Torre, they went to the World Series a whole bunch of times, but I hate to remind folks, but they lost in 01, they lost in 03, right? And then did they make another World Series appearance after 03 under his watch? They didn't. So they kind of went a different direction, after, and he was with the Yankees for a while, and he had an excellent team. He got him there. He got him, multiple World Series, but after not winning a while, you're gonna move on. And I'm surprised, like Dave Roberts, for example, I'm surprised he's been managing for as long as he has with the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are a different type of organization.
Just reading the comment section.
Okay, yeah, I was like,
I'm just reading what the people got to say.
Yeah, and Graham says something here. He says Boone gets a lot of heat. Things like fundamentals aren't up to him. That's the bench coach, and that sets the training schedule unless it's changed.
But
Boone has to have a say, though. I mean, he is the manager. Now, if the manager can only do so much because he's not out there playing, but these guys are getting played. So, and we have a first time subscriber, Roldy Lewis. Welcome. Appreciate you checking us out here, man. And appreciate you subscribing to the Strike Zone. Make sure you subscribe to the Ace Avenue too, man. But he says, how's it going, fellas? First time on your live stream. I'm a little down on the Goldie signing, although it's a 1-year deal. It still gives me Donaldson vibes. I understand. What's the chances of us trading for Bohm? We were just talking about that, man. I don't, Ace and I are for it. In the beginning, when it was first said that the Phillies are wanting to trade Bohm, I was like, I don't know, but it's been growing on me. It really has. The Goldschmidt signing, as far as giving you Donaldson vibes, it's not giving me Donaldson vibes because it's not. I don't think it's necessarily a bad signing because he's only a 1-year deal, so it's very low risk. Where with Donaldson, that was just a risk. It was a bad trade for a bad trade.
That was a terrible trade.
Yeah. It was just to get rid of Gary Sanchez. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a bad trade for a bad trade because when they made that happen, I'm like, Donaldson. I'm like, what? I mean, Donaldson had a great career during his time, but when he was up there, they got him at like 36, 37. I'm like, why are we getting this guy? Like, for what?
Legend has it that he's still out there pimping doubles.
Oh, man.
And getting thrown out at second. Yeah, that was bad, bro. There was a whole highlight compilation of him thinking he has home runs, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Gosh,
and that always annoyed me. And yeah, looking forward to having you, man. Like I said, thank you for joining here, and make sure you subscribe to the Ace Avenue too. He's a good cat. So like, he puts out Yankee content, movie content. If you're into movies, there, Roldy. If you're into movies. Ace is your guy. So, and feel free to post the link there, Ace. I mean, if you want, so that way he can subscribe to your channel, because try to do what we can to get you to $2,000. Let's get you to $2,000.
Much appreciated. Same thing, vice versa.
Yeah.
I just dropped the link to my channel. Like I said, I also do live play-by-play content as well.
Mm-hmm.
Movies, a little bit of something for everybody at the Ace Avenue.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far this offseason's been good. Like, if the Yankees keep Soto, right? And I know this is just a lot of people tired of Soto talk. What moves do you think still get made from because somebody asked me this earlier. Someone was like, if we would have Soto, we still have done what we did. And I appreciate that, Roldy. Thank you. I think the Max Fried deal still would have went down because we were kind of talking to him before Soto had signed, but I don't think we end up with Devin Williams. Cody Bellinger still maybe a possibility, but that would have had to been, I think if that would have been a possibility, Yankees would have desperately, which they're still trying to do. They're still trying to get rid of Marcus Stroman because it would just make sense. But I think the Fried probably gets done and maybe not too much more. What do you think?
If not Fried, you could potentially see maybe a Walker Buehler or a Flaherty.
Yeah.
That would have been one of the other moves, because and I've said it time and time again, they had to. I mean, they had to get another starting pitcher with Soto or without. It needed to happen.
Yeah.
I know some people didn't agree with my take on that, but I'm like, no, they absolutely needed to get another starter. Come on, guys, like pay attention, you know.
Yeah.
I don't mean any disrespect by that. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, but you know, D-Rod is saying why not Williams after Soto? That didn't cost me. It didn't. It didn't really. They could have still done it. I think the trades would have still gone down, but the only one that I would have been a little bit unsure of was the Max Fried signing.
Yeah,
I think they would have gone Bueller or Flaherty. I think that would have been the direction that they would have gone.
Yeah, I still think they would have been on Fried. Would they have landed him? I don't know, because that 8-year was the difference maker. Because he was, you know, the Yankees were originally offering 7, and so were other teams. But the 8-year was really the difference maker.
Yeah.
The Fernando Cruz move probably still happens, because you're probably still going to try to get rid of Jose Trevino to solidify the bullpen. So, but I don't know if the Devin Williams move still happens, because like it has nothing to do with money. Maybe it just might change the perspective on the team. Like you, instead of making, because you lost Soto, so you tried to make 2 strengths stronger. You solidified your rotation, which was number 8 last year in ERA, and then you solidified your back end in the bullpen. I don't know if they would still go that route. I think Max Fried possibly. And I don't know.
So,
but, you know,
just for the fun of it, if they did keep Soto, and you're saying Devin Williams would have never happened, so they would have just kept with Weaver as a closer.
Weaver.
Yeah.
Dream Weaver. Yeah, I believe he can get us through the night. You know that reference?
Goes to the
Come on, man. Bro, you're up there in age like me. Come on, man. Come on. Ooh, Dream Weaver. It's a song, man.
Yeah, I don't know the movie or the song.
No, it's a song.
Yeah, I don't know the song, but yeah. No, I don't mind me, man.
But I'm gonna tell you this though. I gotta add the because of Paul Goldschmidt, I gotta add the sound drop from I Love Gold from Goldfinger. I'm not gonna be the only person that has that, because that's very common, but I gotta get to it first. So David says it's a very old song. He gets the reference.
Yeah. Well, I gotta wonder how old David is now. But no, you know what, man? I think the Williams trade would have probably still happened. Because I don't think the Yankees were 100% sold on Weaver being the closer. They put him in there because he was like your next best thing after Clay Holmes, which worked out, and it worked out quite. David A is 58. There you go.
I mean, I'm 36, but I still know that old school music, man. I grew up on that, man. My parents used to be jamming out. My parents know Rapper's Delight word for word. That's one of like the longest rap songs ever.
Yeah, it's like the song is like 7 minutes, I think, right? Or
yeah.
Yeah, no, I know that song. I don't know. I can't tell you the lyrics. I can't sing the lyrics, but I know the song.
So what type of music do you listen to? What do you have in your Spotify right now?
Oh, music, man. I mean, it's a variety for me. I listen to a little bit of everything. The only music I can't really listen to is country, but
Same.
I will make an exception for Johnny Cash.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because you can't go wrong with Johnny Cash. Like that's I know, and some people have told me that he's not like a country guy, but to me he is. Yeah. But but Johnny Cash was unique though.
Yeah. So what do you have now, like on your Spotify? If you were to hit play on your Spotify, what is currently in the queue?
Yeah, a lot of like 90s hip hop, honestly.
What's the goal? He don't want to go in. He's something embarrassing.
No. Like who's embarrassing? Like who?
No, I'm just saying. Like I don't know.
I'm like East Coast hip hop. I'm like Biggie.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Jay-Z, but I'm kind of like leaning away right now. But that's a whole different conversation, so we're not gonna get into that. But like Nas is cool.
Rodney says you ducking the question.
Shut up, Ronnie.
You know what I have? I'm not going to play it because you can only play it. You can't play certain music on it. Mine, I Missed the Bus by Criss Cross. If I was to hit that play button right now, Criss Cross would be playing. That was a lot. I was listening to the Totally Crossed album yesterday and a little bit today too. Bro, Chris Cross is the shit, bro.
No,
I
Chris
missed
Cross
the
is cool. I'm
bus.
not laughing at you. I'm
I
laughing
missed
at
the
some of the
bus.
comments because I don't want to mention a name.
Oh yeah, I
So
see it. Rodney's
there's
on one right now.
yeah, yeah, Mr. Controversy is bringing him up, and so is Will Star. I'm not saying the name. No, that name is just it's a cancer in this chat. I can't speak for other chats, but it's a cancer in this one. So, David A, I do some metal or hard rock. Like who are you referring to? What bands are you liking? Because like I when I was growing up in New York, there was guys that were listening to metal, like particularly with like Metallica. So, I do like a little bit, I do like a little Metallica. You're not into the metal, huh?
No, I'm laughing at Rodney.
Oh, yeah. No, Rodney. None of those names are acceptable. Any of those multiple names that person goes by is a big fat no. Just stop it.
Nah, but I'm right there with you. I listen to a little bit of everything. It just
Yeah.
depends on the mood. Country, not so much. Country was either too depressing and now it's kind of too poppy.
Yeah.
But there's some country music I listen to. Like Walker Hayes is a country artist I've kind of started getting into. I recommend him. Very good music. Sabbath is really good. I listen to everything.
Black Sabbath, okay. Yeah, Black Sabbath, a little Ozzy. I mean, that's not bad. Yeah, like I said, when it comes to country, it's only Johnny Cash. That's about the only guy I'll listen to, but it's because it's Johnny Cash. You cannot go wrong with him. But yeah, can't go wrong. I mean, I'll do Michael Jackson. I mean, how can you not? I will jam out to some Michael Jackson. Rodney, bro. I told you the couch is $1 trillion. If you could afford it, it's yours. But till then, it's mine. Yeah. So Yassine says Prince.
Prince is good.
Yeah, Prince is cool.
I was listening to KRS One Step Into My World the other day. Song is
fire. Bro, I jam out. I jam out to KRS One, Rakim. Eric B and Rakim.
Legends. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course,
Big
man.
L.
Big
Nas
L,
is my all-time favorite. Yeah.
Who? Nas is your all-time favorite?
Nas is my GOAT. Yeah.
Nas is my favorite too. Mm-hmm. Like he's my favorite rapper, but honestly, the GOAT when it comes to rap music is to me it's Rakim. Hands down. Yeah. But Nas is my favorite rapper for sure. But Rakim is the best. He's the best at the best of the best. Big Daddy Kane. I mean, if we're gonna go real old school.
Yep.
So Brad, stop. No. Just stop. Rory says Wu-Tang, absolutely.
There ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah. Run DMC, of course. You can't go Run DMC. You can't go wrong with Run DMC.
I opened up for Wu-Tang. I used to do music. I opened up for Wu-Tang.
Oh, that's dope.
When they were here at the Norva, I opened up for that was years ago.
Yeah. Yassine says the Beatles. Yeah, now we're going way back. Beatles is cool. Paul Simon, Prince. I saw Led Zeppelin. I saw Pantera. Biggie, of course, you can't go wrong with Biggie. Ronnie saying Snoop's new album's fire. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, I haven't heard it either.
Yeah. Ghostface Killer. Yeah. So what do I love? CT cards? Who's Gath? Garth, maybe? Garth Brooks? No. VH Rush. Okay, David A is the rap that we speak of, it's a genre there, Ken.
It's the hip, the hop, the hippie to the hip hop.
There you go. Roldy's saying Pac, Nas, Big L, Big, DMX, Jay-Z. Bro, you're naming some legends, bro. Ronnie said Pac. I mean, yeah, I'm a Pac fan too. I never
Quest.
A Tribe Called Quest. Oh, 100%.
Far Side is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those guys are awesome. I mean, yeah, I'm not really, I know there's the battle between Biggie and Pac, but honestly, it's just like I like them both, bro. Like I can't like.
So my question to you is, if you had, since you will go back to sports, we'll do the transition back to sports. What would your walkout song be?
Oh man, that's not bad there, Ken. NWA, Public Enemy, Ice Cube. I mean, yeah, you guys are naming some good folks here. Whatever you say there, Chris Penders. But yeah, my walkout song. Um, a good walkout song for me. One song that I wouldn't mind would be Bone Crusher. I Ain't Never Scared.
Mm.
That'd be a solid one. What other songs are out there? I'm from New York with with Ja Rule, Fat Joe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, Jadakiss.
Jade is nice. Yeah.
So those would be a couple that I can think of at the moment. I don't have like a list, but
I'd go Get It on the Floor by DMX.
oh, there you go.
That's a classic. Get on the
Yeah,
floor. That gets me
yeah.
hype. If I could walk around with a guy with a boom box for every place I enter, I'd play that song.
There you go. Ken is saying Santana smooth. I mean, I have no problems with Carlos Santana. I mean, shoot, let's go. Let's talk Jimi Hendrix, man.
Yeah.
He's another one.
The amount of people that confuse Carlos Santana with Carlos Santana lately has been crazy. They're like, Carlos Santana, you're talking about the artist? Like, no. Like, people have the same names.
Yeah. Oh, Rob says You Don't Know by Jay-Z and M.O.P.
That's a good one.
Oh, yes, that is a good one. There was another one that popped in my head, but now I forgot. It just like disappeared.
Rodney said New York by Jadakiss. We got to keep whatever we do this year. There's this curse going around, the Fat Joe curse.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop it. We really have to stop it. Like it's been showing up a lot lately, the Fat Joe curse. So keep him away from Yankee Stadium this year.
Yeah. The locks.
The locks.
With Little Kim. I would walk out to that beat.
Money, Power, Respect.
Thank you. Money,
Okay.
Power, Respect. I like the beat to that. I think that would be a perfect walk-up beat to go up to bat. I do like that, man.
You know what I would do? Because it's so recognizable, the intro. I don't want to be a player. The doom.
Oh, Big Pun. Yeah.
That joint be as soon as that doom hits, everybody knows what it is. Like, okay. Or take a page out of the movie Hardball. I love it when you call me Big Pop.
Oh, yeah. You brought up Big Pun, man. That's the Boricua coming out in you.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. CT Card says Weird Al. You would say Weird Al. That makes perfect sense for you, CT Cards, and you would say Weird Al. That's like
I got 5 on it's good. That's a good one.
I got 5 on it.
That beat is another classic beat. There's just so many.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. But yeah, Money, Power, Respect, though, I think that'd be another good walkout song. Because the beat is just fire. So, but
as soon as we started talking about music, the chat was flooded.
Yeah, man, the chat was on fire. We got to start talking music more, and then we're gonna talk. Maybe we'll have a live stream talking about food. Even though we talk about food on the live streams or on the pregame.
Just had some Spanish food today.
You just had some Spanish food?
Yep. I'm about to say, Yariel Sella just signed with the
Oakland A's.
Okay, why am I just now getting a notification?
I have no idea.
That happened. No, Heyman just reported 2 minutes ago.
Oh, so it's official. He must have passed his physical and all that. Because he had reached an agreement with the A's.
I wouldn't have minded Urcela as a utility guy.
Yeah, Chris Pender says Black Rob. Whoa, yeah, that would be a dope walk up for sure.
I just sent you 3 pictures. Check those out. Tell me those don't look good. It's food. It's food related, so everybody knows. So.
yeah, and Mr. Controversy, don't get any ideas.
Yeah,
and I am specifically talking to you.
David says The Weeknd. I love The Weeknd.
You like The Weeknd?
The Weeknd's fine. Yes.
Okay.
I love The Weeknd. I'm thinking about because he doesn't come to Virginia. Closest he comes is DC. I'm thinking about going out there and checking him out next time he performs, because I hear he puts on one hell of a show.
I've heard the same thing. Actually, it looks pretty decent. Looks good.
Yeah, got some good ass Spanish food.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, people are dropping groups and names, man. soon as we start talking music. I like it. Talk baseball, talk music. So, Bob Marley. You into Bob Marley?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see the biopic of Bob Marley,
Me
but I mean,
neither.
yeah, he's cool. Love that the Damian Marley collaboration that him and Nas did together was good.
That was good.
I live in Virginia. I'm originally from New York City, but I live in Virginia.
How long? When did you move out of New York?
Around middle school age. Went back and forth a couple times, but mostly around middle school.
Wow.
But
So
I've
you
been
were.
out here ever since.
Yeah. So you were. Yeah. So you moved to Virginia fairly young.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Parents
that.
got a good opportunity to relocate. You know what I'm saying? So they took the opportunity. And
Yeah.
plus, at the time, New York wasn't a good place to really raise kids at the time in the Bronx. So,
Yeah,
moved
not
here.
in the Bronx. And yeah, I moved out of New York. I didn't have a choice either. I was young. I was like, it was like a month before my 16th birthday. So, that's when I moved, when we moved out to Colorado.
Yeah.
We
VA is not
relocated.
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
Ken will tell you VA is not bad. I'm going to have to link up with Ken. Like I said, me and Ken trying to link up, go see a game.
There you go.
Ken could buy me a couple beers,
Stephen B, I'm definitely not missing out on country. I don't want to hear it. So, yeah, I'm definitely not missing out on country. I've tried to listen to country. I just can't do it.
Listen to Walker Hayes. Add him to your playlist. Listen to a
Walker
guy named
Hayes?
Walker Hayes. I guarantee you'll like it. Because we have very similar music tastes. I guarantee you'll like it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, New York, like I said, I love to going back there to visit for sure. But yeah, to live there though, I couldn't do it.
Crazy expensive to live up there.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy expensive, and it's just like I like where I am right now. It's a little bit more relaxed and laid back. I just wish that I just wish that it had the food scene was a little bit better, because that's what I miss about New York, is just the food scene.
And the women.
There's some good stuff. Yeah. David A's from Jackson Heights. Yeah, dude, I was
Nice.
I was born in Queens. So
Yeah.
that's where I live. But now every time I go back, I stay in Brooklyn. So, because I still have some family in Brooklyn.
If you moved again, where would you move to? Because I'm thinking about, if I was to move, I'm getting a call in for the West Coast.
Oh, you're trying to relocate? You're trying to come out to the West Coast?
Yeah, I'm getting a call in for the West Coast, especially aspirations to be a full-time content creator. The sports day just works better over there. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I could tell you right now, me living here, the timing and everything is it is way better.
Well, you're
especially
an hour behind, right? 1 hour?
I'm 2 hours behind you.
It's 8:44 here. You're 2 hours behind. Oh, okay.
I'm 2 hours behind you.
Okay.
So
yeah.
You think about those West Coast games that start at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, our time it's
yeah, for East Coast is 10. I mean, so for us here, it's 8 o'clock. So it's still early enough where you could watch the whole game.
Yeah. Baseball, the majority of Yankee games, 7 o'clock here. They'd be 4 o'clock on the West Coast. You're done by 7 o'clock. That's enough time for me to go hit a movie and do a movie review. The whole football day over here on the East Coast, it starts at 1. It's over by 11:30. Over there, starts at 10. It's over by 8. Like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. If I was to move and become a full-time content creator, don't let me mess around and get a sponsor. I'm moving out to the West Coast.
I wouldn't blame you. I mean, I would say not to move out to Cali because it's freaking expensive out there. If there is a place in Cali for you to move, I would say San Diego, because that city is freaking pretty.
You want to know what everybody keeps telling me? Everybody keeps telling me they're like Nevada. They're like, you get that West Coast time, and they're saying it's pretty cheap out there. They're like, go out there.
True. I mean, or you could go to the Pacific, like Oregon or Washington State, but
too rainy over there for me.
Yeah, too rainy, so it's probably out of the question for you then. But Colorado, I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna try.
Bro, I don't want to stay tonight on the couch. I'm good.
I don't want you on my couch, bro. Get out of here. Nobody's taking my couch. We have already established this. But
Have we even seen this couch that everybody's talking about?
No, it's overrated.
No.
But you get all 4 seasons here
In
and
Virginia? Oh, okay. Yeah.
in Colorado.
Yeah, we get all 4 seasons in one day sometimes.
Yeah,
Ken.
that's us here. So, like December, it could be December here in Colorado, and it would be, sometimes it would be in the 50s, but the 50s in Colorado is a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Like that's how it is, and it's dry weather out here too. So, that's the other thing I was going to mention.
So, some days over here in Virginia, you'll wake up, it's snowing, and it turns into rain, and then it gets hot, and it's like you just experience all 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we get that here. Yeah, D-Rod brings up New Mexico. That place is definitely very, very cheap to live in.
I don't want to live anywhere with dry air though, because that dries your skin out. I don't want to live anywhere like there.
And that's the only thing I don't like about here is the dry skin, because I have to constantly use lotion for that. So, David A, thank you so much, man. He says, "Night guys, keep up the good work. Go Yankees." Yeah, appreciate you tuning in, bro. We'll see you next time. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. There's a lot of people in here. So, shut up, Brian.
Like button. Can we get? And
we got a new member, and he's a new member. Let's go. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the crew, man. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for joining.
We're at 90 likes. Can we get to 100? Can we get 10 more?
We're at 90 likes?
Yep.
Can we get to 100? Yes, I am begging. So I am begging for those likes, because Ronnie always says he's begging for likes. Yes, just like how you beg for my couch, I'm going to beg for my likes. That's how it works. So there you go. But yeah, David A, thank you for joining, man.
Thank you for being a member.
Yeah, thank you for being a member. And Ken dropping the Strike Zone membership. Who is the recipient? I got to open up.
Gamey Highlander.
Oh, Graham Highlander. Okay,
Graham Highlander. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, Graham. You became a member, so welcome to the show. So just so everybody knows, if because I always like to do a friendly reminder when it comes to memberships. If you're gifted a membership, it's good for 30 days. And if you, I see the comment.
I was gonna say something like that, but I'm like, I'm good. But there goes Brad. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see the comment. But yeah, if you are gifted a membership, it's good for a month. Then it does expire. If you want to continue being a member, you have to make that happen yourself. So, and the memberships are picking at random.
Yep.
So the person that gifts the membership, they don't get to pick. YouTube just picks it at random. And you have to turn that notification on your end.
Actually, because I'm starting to pick up on it a little bit. I think it gives it to people that are more
active
in the chat. I think it gives it to people that are more active, because when people give memberships on my channel, it kind of gives it to the same people over and over and over again. Like, so I think it's based on your activity with the channel. Yeah,
I'm just laughing at D-Rod's question, and certain individuals are getting a little weird. Let's not. Okay. Jay Snow, what days do you guys usually stream? So Ace, go ahead. I'll let you answer.
When the Yankee games are playing, I stream every day for the most part. Whenever there's a movie coming out, I try to. And this year, this 2025, I'm gonna try to be more active with that. If there's a day I gotta miss a Yankee game, if the Yankees are playing like the A's, I might just have to miss that, go see the movie. So stream whenever there's breaking news, or whenever I just feel like being live with my subscribers, just hanging out. I actually didn't think we were gonna get. I didn't think this was gonna be a busy time. I really didn't. I thought because of the holidays coming up in the middle of the week, which kind of sucks that it's in the middle of the week. I thought people were gonna be heading to places they were going to be. I thought it was going to be winding down a little bit, but the Yankees made 2 back-to-back moves last night, adding a reliever, and today adding Paul Goldschmidt. So they gave us our Christmas present a little bit early today.
Yeah. And yeah, that's like you said, it's been busy. And for me, when I go live, what days I go live. So during the off season, I don't really have a set schedule. But during ever since the winter meetings and during this off season, like in this month, it's been almost every day. And sometimes I don't even plan it. Sometimes I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm going live, because there was always something to talk about. So, But normally during the season there, Jay Snow, when do I go live? You can say nearly every day, especially for the for the pre-games. I was doing Thursday, Thursday morning live streams at 9:30, but I'm not going to do those anymore. I'm just going to move that to the afternoon because it's just better for the channel. The more eyes, the better. And I know I'm still seeing the comments, and I'm not going to acknowledge those comments. I'm just going to ignore it. But yeah, during the season though, you can pretty much expect me to go live every single day. But if there's an off day, you might not see me go live during the season. So hopefully that helps answer your question. And
if he's gonna be doing more play-by-play this year, so make sure you guys subscribe for that.
Yeah, that's the game plan.
What's your goal for games you want to cover? Do you have one?
I don't. Do I have a goal? I mean, I think 80 games would be dope. I mean, if I can do half, 82 games, or just somewhere in that range, I would do. I would like to do that. I just gotta plan it right, and just gotta get some make some decisions going into 2025 because there's been some things that's been going through my mind. I'm not going to talk about it here, but nothing like major, but it's just just stuff that I'm going to have to figure out and decide. Rodney, when do you get your TV debut? Like, do you want to come on or something? You want to come on my channel or Ace's channel? I mean, you tell me, man. I'll get you on here. Just don't make anything weird and don't bring up certain names and we'll be fine.
No comment.
Oh, man. But Desiree says Reservoir Dogs is a great movie. Oh, freaking love that movie. And by the way, speaking of movies, I did see that Superman trailer.
Oh, what'd you think?
Ooh. Oh, man.
Looks good.
Yo, I got to watch it.
Yeah.
I definitely have to watch the movie. I'm not a guy that goes to the movies a whole bunch. Not because I hate going to the movies. I just, the movies that have been coming out, I'm just like, I just feel like Hollywood hasn't really done a good job. But
what's the last movie you saw in the theater?
Shoot, it was back in 2023. It was based on a true story. It came out like July or August of that year, and it was a pretty long movie. I forget the name of it. It had something to do with the bomb.
Oh wow! So it has been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, no, it's been a hot minute. I'd have to look up the name of that movie.
Yeah.
Are you just reading the comments?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. If you got this is why I don't want to invite you all over because y'all are weird. And you all want to come up and stream with me? If I don't stream with you, what do you think, Ace?
No comment. Rodney come out there dropping D words and stuff like that. I'm good, man.
Oppenheimer
was good.
Yeah, that was a good.
That was last year though. That wasn't this year. That was last year.
Yeah, that was so I was saying 2023.
Oh, okay. That was the movie. Yeah. Oh, wow. So you haven't been to a movie in a whole year.
Yeah, I haven't been to a movie in a whole year, man. I'm just not. Nah, Ronnie, don't leave. But if you really need to leave, we'll check you later. But
yeah,
don't be weird, there, Ronnie. But
yeah,
Oppenheimer was
a good head out too.
Yeah, I know you probably got to get going, but I'll we're almost 2 hours, so I'll probably slowly wrap it up. But it's always a good time in here, man. It's always great having you. But Oppenheimer, he brings up that movie, and if you know who Sunil is, he's a big Oppenheimer fan, and he was on the Oppenheimer train. I'm like, bro,
that movie was good. I really enjoyed it.
No, it was a good movie.
It's not a movie that I think you can it doesn't have a lot of rewatchability because it's very dialogue heavy. But it's definitely a solid movie, especially when you did the whole Barbenheimer experience. So, yeah.
And Ken is asking you a question here.
Night Has Fallen. Who is in it? The last trailer I just did a trailer reaction for Superman. That was the last trailer I saw. Night Has Fallen with Gerard Butler. No, I have not seen that. But 2025 is going to be a big movie year, though. A lot of good movies coming out in 2025.
Yeah, it seems that way. But I'm definitely going to check out that new Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely need to make some time for
you're a
that.
DC guy.
Oh, I love DC. But I like Superman. I'm a big Batman guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I showed you my Batman spotlight yesterday.
That thing was fire. I'm like, no way. But I'm like looking at the 2025 movies now because you got me curious.
Oh, they got some good ones coming out, especially with Marvel.
I mess with Marvel. I like Marvel. But yeah, I definitely I think you know what? Now that we're talking about movies, and Ken wants me to send his number to you, so I'll just shoot it over to you. But yeah, I think 2025. I think, you know what? I'll make it a goal to make some trips to the movies.
Yeah,
and go check out some movies.
January is always the weakest month for movies.
Yes.
Like last year, coming out, they don't usually come out the gate, but you do have some really good movies coming out this year. My goal is to cover at least 30 movies this year.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Whether it's in theaters, on Netflix, so that's going to be the goal, to add more balance to the channel, so it's not just all sports. But it's some good Marvel stuff coming out this year.
Yeah. Oh, Den of Lions 2. Ronnie brought that up. Yeah, dude, I do want to go see that. Who do you go to the movies with, man? Do you go with family?
I go by myself. I go because this is the thing. As soon as I became a movie content creator, I'm trying to go first to see it. Like if it's a movie I really want to see, I'll get Thursday. I don't know how they do it over there, but they have Thursday night tickets for the first. They used to do midnight showings on Thursday. But then they added that extra showing. So the first movies will come out the Thursday around like 4:00. So I try to be in that showing. A lot of times people that I go with won't normally go until later. So I end up having to go first. I don't mind going to the movies by myself, you know what I'm saying? Because then I'll just come home and make some content. But if it's a movie I really enjoy, I'll go multiple times with different people. Like, forget about it. No Way Home, Endgame. I saw those movies 10 plus times in the theater. And I was going like, just, those movies were so good to me. It was like one day I just wake up like, damn, I want to see that movie again. Just go, F it. Especially because I have the AMC Movie Pass. So for $21 a month, I get 3 free movies a week.
Yeah, for sure. And I know on certain days, if you go during the day or something to the movies, the tickets are a little bit cheaper too. So there's also that. But yeah, I'm one of those people that I could go to a movie by myself, man. I know a lot of folks find that weird, but
I used to think it was weird because there would be sometimes I would go to a movie with people and then I would look up like, damn, that guy's by himself. He had nobody that can go with him. But I've gotten used to going by myself, especially being a movie content creator. It's hard to find somebody that will go at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, 4:00 in the afternoon. Most folks are like at work. You know what I mean? Yep. So understandable. Ronnie says Marvel's Doom movie should be outstanding.
Should be.
Okay,
Robert
should
Downey
be.
Jr.'s coming back, so
yeah. And Roldy's with us about going to the movies alone. He says it's not weird. Yeah, I don't think so either, man. I've done it. I've done it before. It's actually, I don't mind it because it's just I'm like very like laser focused, and I don't have anybody like bother me. Although if I do go to the movies with other people, it's usually with family members.
Yeah, I'm very particular about who I go to the movies with too. Like, movies are a good date spot, but it's a test. It's more like a test because like I need to be able to lock into the movie. Like if you want to talk to me real quick and say like something real quick, like hey, I'm like, okay, cool, because it doesn't take me out of focus. But I can't have people that have full-fledged conversations with you during the movie. I'm like, bro, we're here to see a movie, not have a conversation.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. It's like that's not really the place to have a conversation when you're watching a movie. So Jay Snow says he rarely goes to the movies anymore. I mean, I get it. And then Roldy's saying before he got married, he said he used to go to the movies by himself.
Yeah.
So
Good question by Dev. You watch any Christmas movies? Yeah, I just watched Carry On. I think I'm gonna add that to my Christmas movie watch. Um, what else? What other things? I wouldn't say necessarily say movies. I don't think I'm gonna have the time this year. So next year I'm gonna make my top 5 Christmas watches.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye is one of my Christmas watches. The reason why I say it's not just movies is because that's an MCU series. That kind of gets me in the Christmas spirit. Also, Rise of the Guardians gets me in the Christmas spirit. Nightmare Before Christmas and Elf. Those are usually the movies I usually go to for Christmas.
There you go. There you go. And D-Rod saying movies are the worst first dates. You got to be quiet for 90 minutes.
No, I think here's my key. Here's my dating experience, right? 3 types of dates you need to go on. Doesn't matter the order. You need to go on a fun date, a movie date, and a really like dress up fancy dinner date, because you need to see how your date conducts in different types of atmospheres when it calls for it. So those are the 3 types of dates I usually go on initially to see if this girl is this girl is the one. So
Yeah,
movie dates are important to me, especially somebody that likes movies. If I go somewhere and she's like, "Oh, I hate movies," well, we're not gonna get along. I'm a movie content creator. How's that gonna work?
Yeah, you're gonna hate my guts. Home Alone is great. I love Home Alone.
Die Hard for kids.
Yeah, I love Home Alone. I like Home Alone Lost in New York. I'm a big fan of that. After Home Alone 2, I just didn't really.
Yeah,
It was 1 and 2.
I actually think Home Alone is kind of overrated. It's because
You
a lot
think?
of people like. Yeah, I think it's a little overrated as a Christmas movie. There are ones that I would rather watch, but yes, Home Alone is Die Hard for kids. Yes, that's what it is.
Die
And
Hard.
also, Brad, that was a joke from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference.
Ace, you're being asked if you classified Die Hard as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I just said it. Yeah, Die Hard for kids.
Okay,
Yeah,
my fault. But
yeah, like I said, that's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference.
Graham is saying dressing up to me means tailcoat and white tie.
Tailcoat, you going fancy? Like
He's going real fancy.
a tailcoat, a coattail. That's you. That I mean, I haven't seen those in forever.
Yeah, it's been a. Well, he lives in Scotland, so maybe it's a little different where he is. So that's a different part of the world.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we're. I'd say we're at a pretty good stopping point. Yeah, man, because we definitely discussed Yankees, movies, goals for 2025. But I do. Again, I appreciate you jumping on again, dude. I thought you were going to jump on later, which if you did, I would have been cool with it. But yeah, you were able to jump on. So, any plans for tonight, man, or just hanging out? Or you got stuff going on tonight?
Yeah, might go take a nap, then go out to work later. So
okay.
We'll see. We'll see how it happens. Like I said, I kind of did some stuff during the day. Like all the Christmas shopping is pretty much done, so I'm good to go from here, ready for the Christmas season. And I just hope that the Yankees, if they make any more moves, we'll be covering it.
Oh, you better believe it, man. So yeah, folks in the chat, appreciate everybody jumping on. I saw a lot of you in the chat, so I again, thank you. Ace, thanks for coming on. Graham, Desiree, Ken, Brad, Jason from 161. I saw you pop in. Fortrain, Mazza, you popped in. Jonathan, Virgil, Jay Snow, Rodney, Rolly Lewis, new member. Thank you for joining. Dev Finch, Brad, as always, right? D-Rod, a lot of folks. If I didn't mention your name, I do apologize. The comments were flying, but I do appreciate everybody joining. So make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everyone you know. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Ace Avenue as well. Let's continue growing his channel out. Let's continue supporting him. Remember, he doesn't just do sports. He does movies too. So there's a lot of movie buffs in here. So make sure you all subscribe and give him and check out his movie content as well. Again, thank you all for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I don't know that I'll go live tomorrow unless if something big happens. But if it does, I will be live. If not, I will see you all next time. And we are out.
And go Yankees.
Go Yankees. Go Yankees and behave yourselves. Don't do anything. Don't do anything stupid. You know who you are. Just saying. I'm looking at certain names. So